They say 3 o'clock a.m. is the hour of the dead, when the veil between our world and theirs grows thin enough to slip through. It's when mirrors remember too much, when roads don't lead where they used to, and when something or someone starts whispering your name. Tonight's story takes place during that hour, where one choice, one knock, one ride opened the door to something that should have stayed buried. So, take a deep breath, turn off the lights, and whatever happens, don't check the clock. Because if it says 3 a.m., you might not be alone. Welcome to the channel. And now, without further ado, let's get into the video. They say no one lives there anymore. The house at the end of Dong Tahimik, or Silent Way. It's a dirt road in Antipolo. Winding and dark, barely enough space for 2 motorcycles to pass. Locals claim no one lives at the end of it. Maybe they're right. Or maybe they're just hiding something. It was just after 2:40 a.m. when Jomar decided to finish his last delivery of the night. An early morning shift for grab food. The customer ordered a pancit at sopas combo from a nearby restaurant. Payment was already made, 550 pesos. Not bad for 3 orders. The drop-off pin, located at the end of the dirt road, called Dong Tahimik, or Silent Way. Jomar thought it was just another run. But the longer he drove, the more he realized the address didn't look familiar. He couldn't remember doing deliveries there before. He slowed down, squinting at the screen. Sure enough, it read Dong Tahimik, a road notorious for being stuck in the dark ages. No lights, no neighbors, only trees pressing against the rusted fences. Jomar sighed and slowed down even more. This was getting ridiculous. Should he turn around and head back? As he stared at the end of the road, he noticed a gap between the trees. Someone or something was waiting for him. Curiosity won over fear. He drove closer, then stopped outside what looked like an abandoned house. A rotting gate with vines that clung like fingers. The house seemed to swallow the little light there was. Jomar could make out a lone light coming from the kitchen window. Hope that meant there was electricity. At least, he knocked on the door. Once, twice. But all he heard was the pounding of his own heart. The silence was unnerving, broken only by the chirping of crickets. He tried the handle, locked. Maybe whoever was waiting for this delivery could come and get it. But something told him to stay. Besides, he had a generous tip to look forward to. 666. He laughed it off. Ah, Halloween vibes. Cute. He parked his motorcycle outside, not bothering to turn off the engine. And that's when he noticed the front door was open. Not wide, just cracked. just enough to invite something in or let something out. He walked up to the door, barely able to see inside. The smell of flowers and vinegar drifted out, like something once beautiful left to rot. He knocked again, no answer, and so he pushed the door open and stepped inside. The hallway was dark, lit only by the sliver of moonlight peeking through the cracks in the walls. But then he heard a noise. Footsteps approaching. His eyes adjusted to the gloom. In the shadows of the hallway stood a woman, pale, thin, wearing a mud-streaked wedding dress, her veil dripping wet. She held out her arms. "You're just in time." She smiled, revealing teeth that were just a bit too sharp. Jomar suddenly felt a chill crawl up his spine. What was this place? Who was this woman? And why did she look like she just emerged from a grave? He wanted to run, but his legs felt heavy, as if the house itself was trying to keep him there. The woman took the bag of food from him. Her hands were cold, but strong. "Stay for a moment," she said. "The groom will be here shortly." Jomar forced a smile. He needed to leave, to get away from this house and the creepy woman inside it. But his phone vibrated violently. The app glitched. The customer marked the order as delivered. But how? He hadn't even entered the damn house. Panicked, he tried to leave, but the door behind him slammed shut. The room was pitch black. He ran to the door and pounded on it, screaming for help. But his voice echoed, unanswered, in the darkness. Then he remembered the window. He dashed to it and threw it open, squeezing through the narrow opening. Outside, he fumbled for his motorcycle keys. His hands were shaking. He managed to turn on the engine and sped away from the house. He looked back. He saw the door swing open again. The woman stood there, smiling, beckoning for him to return. But Jomar didn't stop. He drove straight to the police station. What he had seen and felt in that house, he would never forget. But when he told the police about it, they didn't believe him. They thought he was making it all up. So he went back to the house with them. But by then, it was 3 a.m. and the house was empty. All they found was his bike still running, the food bag untouched, and his phone still recording. His last voice memo, a whisper, "She's still waiting." If you ever find yourself in Antipolo, be careful. If you're ever asked to deliver food past midnight, check the time. If it's 3 a.m., don't knock. Just ride. Dolores, Quezon, is a real place. The events in this story are not. You're safe now, but let me take you somewhere where safety runs out before the story ends. A back road, a quiet tricycle ride, and a passenger who was never supposed to be there. It was 2:47 a.m. in the sleepy town of Dolores, Quezon, where the fog clings to the road like breath on a mirror. Mungberto, a 56-year-old tricycle driver, was about to call it a night. Only a few meters from home, his phone pinged. One last booking. Cash. No name. Pickup point. Under the old Nara tree, by the cemetery gate. He hesitated. That area wasn't lit. No houses nearby. Just graves and overgrown weeds. But money was money. And he told himself, maybe it's an emergency. So he went. She was already there, a young woman, dressed in a white skirt, hair down to her waist, face hidden behind a lace umbrella. She didn't say a word, just climbed in and softly pointed ahead. The road they took didn't exist on his map. Darker than usual. No moonlight, no stars. Even the engine began to hum strangely, like it was choking on the silence. Then he started to feel it. A cold weight pressing against the seat behind him. And in the rear-view mirror, she was gone. Her reflection wasn't there, but her smell was sweet. Smell was sweet and rotten, like sampaguita dipped in vinegar. He cleared his throat. Miss, where is your drop-off point? No answer, just a voice, not hers, but inside the tricycle. Take me to where I died. His hands began to shake. He turned his head slightly and saw her face, not in the seat, but outside, running alongside the tricycle, hair floating, feet not touching the ground, smiling, with no eyes. He hit the brakes, hard, but the tricycle didn't stop. The road had disappeared, replaced by thick grass and crooked white crosses on either side. He was no longer on pavement. The tricycle finally sputtered to a halt. He turned. The seat was empty, but the door behind him opened, and the same voice whispered, "We're here." They found Mungberto hours later, sitting in his tricycle, frozen, clutching a 20-peso bill soaked in black mud. Muttering the same thing over, he said, "One last ride." To this day, no one accepts bookings near the Nara tree after 2:30 a.m., not even for double fare, because, they say, she still rides, looking for a driver who won't turn around, who won't look in the mirror, and who won't ask questions until it's too late. So if you drive a tricycle and a passenger hails you past midnight, don't ask where she's going. And whatever you do, never check the rear view mirror. Subscribe for more stories.